The third source of tension is our shared interest in the rights and responsibilities of nations on nuclear weapons.
Jesus gave his disciples a confidential briefing on his second coming, which is recorded in Matthew 24. And in that briefing he pointed out that there would come great tribulation such as the world had not seen to that time nor ever would see again. In fact, he said, unless those days be shortened, there would no flesh be saved. It's interesting, the technology to make good that prediction didn't exist until our day. If you talked in these terms in the period of the Roman Empire, or if you talked in these terms, say, even in the time of the Civil War, the technology to wipe out the entire world just wasn't a realistic projection. And yet today, our technology has caught up to those prophecies. Every political leader on the planet Earth makes his decisions under the cloud of the possibility of triggering a global nuclear war that could indeed destroy all flesh on the planet Earth.
This is Zechariah 14:12, written 2,500 years ago by the prophet Zechariah. Quote, their flesh shall dissolve while they stand on their feet, their eyes shall dissolve in their sockets, and their tongues shall dissolve in their mouths. Unquote. I mean, what is he talking about? You couldn't have imagined it 2,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago. This has got to be nuclear weapons. This is exactly what nuclear weapons do. You know what's happening in the Middle East. Arafat makes no bones about it. This is not peace. This is another way of waging war. Get some territory inside Israel to destroy them, affect the ultimate conclusion, Hitler's final solution, wipe them out. Daniel 8 verse 20 says of the Antichrist, through peace he will destroy many. And finally, he will lead the armies of the world against Israel, and Israel is not going to go down in flames without using their ultimate weapon. They have nuclear weapons, we all know that, and they're going to use them. A nuclear exchange will begin in the Middle East. This is exactly what Zechariah 14:12 is talking about. I don't think you can doubt it.
When I had an inside briefing at NATO headquarters in Brussels, our ambassador to NATO and our Assistant Secretary of Defense for NATO admitted they believe a nuclear event in the Middle East is a certainty. It's just a matter of time.
This issue has been a source of tension between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Taking aim once again at Israel and the United States, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad repeated inflammatory comments that he made 3 years ago, saying Israel would soon disappear. Ahmadinejad first made the remarks in 2005, fueling international outrage and speculation that he was threatening the Jewish state with a nuclear weapon. But while speaking at a ceremony honoring the late founder of Iran's Islamic Republic, Ahmadinejad told an audience that, quote, this origin of corruption will soon be wiped off the earth's face. Ahmadinejad also called the U.S. a satanic power that, with God's will, would be annihilated.
It's a story with a simple truth. Violence is a dead end. It is a sign neither of courage nor power to shoot rockets at sleeping children or to blow up old women on a bus. That's not how moral authority is claimed. That's how it is surrendered. Now is the time for Palestinians to focus on what they can build. The Palestinian Authority must develop its capacity to govern with institutions that serve the needs of its people. Hamas does have support among some Palestinians, but they also have to recognize they have responsibilities to play a role in fulfilling Palestinian aspirations, to unify the Palestinian people. Hamas must put an end to violence, recognize past agreements, recognize Israel's right to exist.
یک فریاد میزنند و همه اونها با پلاکارد و مشت‌های گره کرده فریاد میزنند مرگ بر اسرائیل.
For many years, Iran has defined itself in part by its opposition to my country. And there is, in fact, a tumultuous history between us. In the middle of the Cold War, the United States played a role in the overthrow of a democratically elected Iranian government. Since the Islamic Revolution, Iran has played a role in acts of hostage-taking and violence against U.S. troops and civilians. This history is well known. Rather than remain trapped in the past, I've made it clear to Iran's leaders and people that my country is prepared to move forward. The question now is not what Iran is against, but rather what future it wants to build. I recognize it will be hard to overcome decades of mistrust, but we will proceed with courage, rectitude, and resolve. There will be many issues to discuss between our two countries, and we are willing to move forward without preconditions on the basis of mutual respect. But it is clear to all concerned that when it comes to nuclear weapons, we have reached a decisive point. This is not simply about America's interests. It's about preventing a nuclear arms race in the Middle East that could lead this region and the world down a hugely dangerous path.
ما به اونها گفتیم اگر شما طرفدار گفتگو هستید چه اصراری بر تعلیق دارید؟ اگر ما تعلیق بکنیم دیگه راجع به چی میخوایم با هم گفتگو بکنیم؟ چرا کارخانجات تولید سوخت شما در گستره هرچه تمامتر و به طور شبانه روزی مشغول کار باشد، اما ملت ایران که در آغاز راه است باید کار خودش رو تعطیل بکند؟ ما گفتیم که آماده گفتگو هستیم، اما گفتگو در شرایط عادلانه، در شرایط برابر، نه اینکه کارخانه های شما شبانه روز کار بکند ما متوقف بشویم و پشت در اتاقهای شما حق خودمان را التماس بکنیم. ملت ایران چنین ذلتی را هرگز نخواهد پذیرفت. سال گذشته بر حق خود پافشاری کردید و امروز آمدید به فضل الهی این حق مسلم را تثبیت کردید و دشمنان را مأیوس و گرد یأس و پشیمانی را بر چهره اونها پاشیدید و این جشن بزرگ هسته‌ای ملت ایران است. اونها بدانند شکست خورده‌اند، ملت ایران ایستاده است، رهبری عزیز ایستاده است و دولت خادم ملت ایستاده است. بدانند در این سرزمین احدی حق ندارد سر سوزنی از حقوق ملت ایران عقب نشینی کند و هر کس در ذهنش، در کلامش و در عملش سر سوزنی کرنش، سازش و کوتاهی در حق ملت ایران مشاهده بشود، دنیا بداند که اون کس منفورترین انسانها نزد ملت ایران خواهد بود. به متناوب شما پیشرفت‌های بزرگ ملت ایران را شاهد خواهید بود و چند پیشرفت بزرگ و کم نظیر به شما معرفی خواهد شد. در صنعت، در کشاورزی، در پزشکی و به ویژه در عرصه فناوری هسته‌ای.